Alrighty guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the Ironman. Last episode, for once, we had ourselves a satisfying conclusion. We now have a pair of ranger boots, a pair of dragon boots. These ones have been collecting dust, and the only thing we need to complete this collection, coincidentally, is a pair of an infinity boots. So this morning, I've been spending a couple of hours here at the mage training arena. We also managed to get 35 million magician experience, but now all the points have been collected. As you can see, we now have exactly what is required to buy ourselves some infinity boots. So to start this video off, we're going to go and buy some of these colorful booties, but there they are. The infinity boots have been unlocked, and we are now ready to start with Cerberus. So this video, I'm going to have to unblock Hellhounds. I've not killed Cerberus with anything other than red axing Darox, so this is going to be different. However, Jagex, they recently updated the Arceus spellbook, specifically, what is the name of that spell actually? The Ward of Arceus. This is the spell, when casted, that will reduce the amount of prayer that I get reduced by the ghosts at Cerberus. And Cerberus, I've not killed once on this account. Not even a single time have I put that red puppy in the dirt. But today, we are going to change that well and truly. I have these 3 boots ready to go. They need crystals each, and I don't know how many kills are required to make that happen, but that is my goal, at least at the very beginning of this video. Hopefully we can get things on drop rate. I believe each of the crystals that I require is about a 1 in 500 drop. So if I can get, 500 Cerberus kills and be done with that, that'll be very nice. And if I can master these mechanics and not take too many prayer pots out of my bank account in the process, that'll also be a bit of a bonus. I think I'll end up using melee for this method. I'm also open to the idea of using range, but melee seems to be the go-ahead with what I've got gear-wise, and with the Emberlight I should be able to crush this boss. But this whole process will begin when I unblock myself some Hellhounds. I'll probably do some tutorial skipping to make sure I get that task nice and quickly. I think that'll be a good place to start. I totally forgotten I've got a double Smoke Devil task ready to go. I will unblock the Hellhounds, although I'm definitely not going to skip the Smoke Devils. Feels weird to do this. I've had these blocked for, essentially, for as long as I've been doing Slayer, but there is no way in hell I'm going to be skipping those Smoke Devils. They are way too valuable to let those slide. So I guess first things first, slight detour to the Smoke Devil dungeon. Superior number 1, just got an occult necklace in other news. What's it gonna be? There's just so many colors all over the place. I don't know what it dropped, but it didn't drop anything of significance. Curious to see how many of these superiors actually land between this back-to-back task. I tried to clean up the floor a little bit. It gets a little bit out of hand when you're at the Smoke Devils. This will be superior number 2 for the task. I guess the back-to-back task. We can just pretend they're one big giga task. But alas, nothing on the floor to note. Well, that will conclude the giga task. We've only got 2 superiors for those 2, but that is okay. The job is not to get myself a bunch of superiors right now. My job is to get myself a Hellhound task. So I shall pick up my cannon, head to the Slayer Master, and hope for the best. What's it gonna be, Kuradel? What have you got? Abyssal Demons. On any other day, I'd happily do those, but today, I think I'll be swapping my spellbook and skipping a little bit with some tutorial tasks. That didn't take too long at all. 173 Hellhounds. It's kind of fortunate that Hellhounds, they have a quite high weighting, so if you have them on that list, they're going to proc quite often. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and get a Giga Hellhound task. I don't know why this is the theme currently, but I want to get a back-to-back. If I do need to kill over 500, I want to just kind of lock in. I want to get a huge amount that I can do, and I don't want to stuff around getting more tasks. So we will store this for now. Pick up the gargoyles and then replace this task with some Hellhounds. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. I only had to kill 1 task of monkeys just now, so if we can repeat that process again, I'll be very, very happy. Banshees. Ugh. Technically it's possible to get it from here, right? If I just got a heart out of nowhere, the amount of planning I've got in the next few hundred hours of gameplay, at least what I estimate it to be, that would all get thrown out entirely, so it's always possible, just a whole lot less possible out of a screaming banshee, I suppose. But I wouldn't complain, that would be nice. I'd definitely take that for sure. Whilst bouncing around some tasks, we got some Araxites, couldn't help but not pass them up. Hopefully I don't get hit for a 50, but I've noticed that these Arania boots have definitely dipped in price. I think last episode they were in excess of 5 mil, now they're down to 3, which is a bit concerning. Also got an Abyssal Head, which is unnecessary. But alas, the Dreadborn shall not drop me anything of significance. I think I've had 3 superiors this task. And is it weird to feel like they're trying to distract me? I've got a job to do here. I've got to get myself some crystals from a puppy. I don't have time for spiders and smoke devils right now. But at the same time, how could I not take them out when I have the opportunity? Well, 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 look what finally decided to show up. That took way more than a singular skipping task, but that is okay. We got some Araxites as well. I think we got some smoke devils. I don't know. All I know is that I have a back-to-back Hellhound task to do, and the second one we received is quite a meaty one indeed, so I'm going to go brush up, watch a couple of tutorials, I imagine. Red Xing with Darox is kind of funny, but I don't have full Darox, and it's so inefficient that it'd be inefficiency to obtain Darox and inefficiency to use it in that method. Maybe in the future it could be fun, but with Emberlight now being released into the game, I'd feel like a bit of a dumbass if I didn't at least try to use it. So I'm gonna go gear up, wish me luck, and hopefully we could get some crystals before too long. I think this will be the gear setup that I bring in with me. It looks kind of clean, kind of basic and simple, but I think it'll get the job done. If I start getting some teleports, I guess that's the only thing that'll change, but I really gotta massage. I really gotta find out what the ratio of different things I need to get are, but I think this is a really good starting point. I think as I get better at the boss itself, that also might change the kind of ratio of things, but yeah, good place to start, I believe. I forgot to pre-eat an anglerfish, but it's not the end of the world. Or is it? There's the first kill down. I don't know if I did anything correctly, but my DPS is so high, I don't think it really matters. That thing respawns very fast. I'm gonna try and do a Red X version of this. I think all you have to do is click on this. What even is that word? Portcullis. Okay. Wait till the health bar disappears. Walk under again. And hopefully I can like go skip or I could get some sort of achievement. I definitely made some mistakes here, but I think I've avoided at least the ghost mechanic. But essentially I just wait for the health bar to disappear from my top left. Once it does so, I poke the boy, shift clicked underneath and then click the exit once again. So there is 2 achievements done, which is nice. I do need these combat achievements unlocked. Dude, the cadence of this spawning is crazy. I think once I've like mastered this boss, I'll be grateful that it spawns so quickly, but whilst I'm trying to orient myself and situate myself inside this lair, man, it is a little bit overwhelming. I kind of ate a bunch of shit, but I wanted to get that combat achievement. 15 wines of Zami. Like, I don't want to jinx myself, but I kind of low-key hope I go dry. And now that that combat achievement is out of the way, gloves are off, puppy dog. Boy, am I glad that I did not entertain Darox at all. I've got to the point where I can eat a bowl of cereal and kill this thing at the same time, which is good. I don't think I'm particularly good at the boss, but because I've waited so long and my gear is so strong, I can kind of just kill it really quickly. And even if I make any mistakes, it's not going to matter too much. Although 24 kills in, I'd appreciate some teleports because I do make a lot of mistakes. I do find myself running back here a lot, but with the max K, it ain't so bad. I've marked each of these guys in their respective colors, and then I just rely on sound cues realistically when to go. Find it kind of makes things easy. I did forget to use the bloody Arceus spell, but there is 25 kill count complete. I think 75 and 150 are the 2 combat achievements. I think I have a little bit more to go if I want to see myself a nice little pop-up. This thing destroys your prayer. But there is the second last combat achievement. It's a weird interval. 25 is generally what they go for, but 75 and 150. Okay, Cerberus. I still haven't gotten myself a teleport drop, which is weird. I thought for sure I'd have one by now. Maybe they nerfed the drop rate because they buffed the quantity that you actually received. And even though I'm only 75 kills in, I am going to take back the part where I kind of want to go dry. I definitely don't want to go dry, please. It was a short-sighted comment. I'm going to try something this run. Hopefully no one's here. Fantastic. I'm going to try use Piety and Protect from Magic and not swap for anything. I'm not going to flick range for the regular attacks. I'm not going to worry about the ghosts. I'm just going to throw shit at the wall and see what happens. Also, I feel like these are misaligned. I don't know if the game, like, at some point broke the map a little bit and it's just, like, shifted to the left. But anyway, I'm going to try out this little experiment. KC77 is what we're at. Let's see how many kills I can get this trip. I don't have the highest hopes, but I'm getting a bit bored, so this is the way I'm going to make it a little bit more interesting. And who knows, if it does work, maybe I don't need to put in so much effort. We got 5 kills, it's actually not too bad. Although that took about 5 minutes, so I did not last very long at all. But who knows, if I feel like doing absolutely zero input, aside from trying to keep myself alive, maybe it's an option. It's not wise, but it's an option nonetheless. I accidentally buried one of the infernal ashes. It's how I was remembering my kill count. It's apparently counting on my fingers just wasn't sufficient. I hate that that is the color that it is. I thought I got myself a crystal, but regardless, 89 kills is all it took, I suppose, to have the ability to teleport back to the lair. And as you can see, when you do the mechanics, you get much more of the kill count per trip. But we'll take these for now. When I feel like I'm a little stronger at the boss, maybe I'll allow myself to start using them. I've decided to start using the master teleports now that I'm getting a fairly decent amount of kills somewhat consistently. I've also locked these parts of my bank. I want to make my banking experience as quick as I possibly can, and if I lock those things in position, the only thing I probably need to change is the key master teleports. But with that said, I think I've improved the efficiency overall, and we're very, very close to getting kill count number 150. So that should be some nice free combat achievement points. Now that I've got some teleports up and running, this is going very, very smoothly. Although when I commentate, it goes a little less smooth. But there is the final achievement that I can unlock for Cerberus. Now, the only thing I can realistically aim towards are the drops themselves. I think on average, it's about 175 kills you can expect to receive one of those crystals. But I do need all 3. I still don't think I've ever managed to dodge that little lava pool that spawns. I've dodged it accidentally a couple of times, but never intentionally. Who knows, maybe when I have 500 KC, I'll understand how to dodge that mechanic. I always just forget to do it. It's not that I don't understand it, I always just forget because I'm so focused on praying against the correct thing for the ghost phase. I dodged it. That was the first documented portion that I've ever managed to successfully dodge the post-ghost Gurridge. I think 12 kills will do me that trip. I think that's my personal best. With the teleports, on average, I think you need a little over 9 KC on average to make it so that you always have a teleport ready to go, at least in the long run of things. But I've gotten quite lucky with a few TP drops. So even if I kind of drop the ball, I think I'll be okay. And if I'm getting 10 KC plus, I think over time, I'm almost guaranteed to always have teleports ready to go. And with those up and running, this is very, very streamlined. Kills are quite quick, downtime is quite low, and I'm not in the position where even if I have a divine while I'm banking, I'm not at the bank very long, so I'm not wasting that potion. I was really trying to min-max that before, but since that downtime doesn't exist, I can kind of go to the bank freely. And between my ornate pool in my house, as well as the quick banking that I've got with these things on lock, like everything is just optimal, the kills are flowing, and it's just a matter of time before I get these drops. I think the main appeal to going dry at the moment is the wines of Zami. I think I've got 120 of them so far, so anything that I get from here, even if I do get dry, this will be, never mind, they're the wrong wines. Wines of Zami, that's what I want. So if I do go dry, this will be the silver lining. So as long as I'm killing this boss, this number goes up, I'll still be happy. Because I do need lots and lots of these wines of Zami, and I still have not found a consistent way to get these in a way that isn't super annoying. I don't want to go out in the wilderness, and telegrabbing is just dead. So it may be the case that Cerberus is my best option for gathering this secondary ingredient. Zami Wines has just been plaguing my account for its entire existence, so we could potentially plug that hole, at least for a short period of time. I think in the next video, I will definitely take advantage of all of these wines of Zami, but we've still got this video to complete first. Now, not to get ahead of myself or anything, but once I do receive all 3 crystals, these boots will be upgraded and inserted into a pair of Avernic treads. I, however, do not have a pair of Avernic treads, but when I do engage in this process, I will require a bunch of demon tears. These tears can be obtained from the Doom boss, which again, have not engaged with, but you can also get them from AFK woodcutting. To my knowledge, to unlock this woodcutting method, I will need to complete the final Dawn quest, and to complete that quest, the Heart of Darkness needs to be completed. So after a very long questing hiatus, I'm going to go get these 2 quests complete, so next time I need to AFK, I can kind of passively work towards these Avernic treads, and then when I have more uptime and active playtime, I can work towards either Cerberus or the Doom boss itself, once these 2 quests are indeed completed. So with that said, let's go and get these quests out of the way. Starting off with the Heart of Darkness. That was a decently speedy quest. I probably should have done this a while ago. I think the Amoxiotl, whatever that boss is called, drops the Pendant of the Eights. And whilst doing my medium clue scroll grind, a lot of teleports would have come in very, very handy. But alas, the quest is complete and it is time to start the final dawn. I think between the boss mechanics and like the visual elements of it, that was actually a genuinely impressive quest. At least the bosses themselves, like the flames and the ability to move around. I think it was actually really perfect with the Noxious Hellbird, having that Hellbird distance. It didn't feel too bad, and the movement mechanics were pretty clean as well. But in any case, the final dawn is complete. I've now unlocked the Doom boss as well as, what is more pertinent, the woodcutting method. Not too sure what I'm going to use any of this experience for. Maybe attack. Oh no, prayer, no doubt. But now that the quest is complete, I have no idea where those trees even were. They're a part of the quest itself, but I got teleported, so I have no clue how to actually access them. I spent probably 5 minutes running around this Tenali cavern just to realize that it's actually in this Tenali cavern. So heading down this one here, I believe this is closer to where I need to be. I've just done the quest, but this place is still very unfamiliar. I have seen that you can set up a like teleport or something mechanic. I'll have to look into that when I actually do the Doom, but I just want to kind of vibe check these routes just to make sure they're accessible and maybe unlock a demon tier or 2 whilst I'm here. Just a proof of concept, you know? Alright, I see woodcutting icons. I think we're in the right space. If I go north, that will be where the Doom boss resides, and I imagine these infected roots are the trees that I'll be woodcutting. So my gameplay loop will kind of look like, if I need to AFK, I'll come down here, get myself some demon tears, and if I've got time to actively play, it'll be Cerberus until I get the 3 crystals. Once those 3 crystals are unlocked, we will then begin our adventures in the Doom. At the Doom? In the Doom? I don't know. We'll be killing the Doom boss, and it'll be killing me, no doubt. Oh, it was just mid-trip and my task is over. I totally forgot this was even a Slayer monster in the first place. I'm actually disappointed. 191 is just not enough, but luckily I've got one in reserve. Not one, but 140 or something. Turns out it's 173, but outside of that, I wanted to update you on what I'm currently using gear-wise. I've started to bring thralls. I thought it might be a bit too expensive in terms of prayer points, but I think it's going to be worthwhile. I'll also be able to use Death Charge as well. So the kills should be a little bit faster. There's just an increased amount of moving parts as I do it, but I'm kind of at the point where I'm pretty much autopiloting it. I don't know why, by the way, these flames occur, and you have to take damage in order to actually access the boss. But anyway, we're almost approaching the 200 kill count mark. Hopefully we get ourselves a drop before too long. Maybe it'll be the thralls that is just the missing component that unlocks the drops. Hey, there we go. 208 kills. We get our first crystal. I don't even care that it's 108k or 180k. We definitely need that one. So after this trip is done, we're going to go ahead and upgrade our ranger boots. I didn't get a whole lot of mileage out of those boots themselves. I'm going to instantly upgrade them. That is exactly what I want. If there was one drop I wanted, that was it. This process is a little foreign to me. Hopefully all I need is the ranger boots and the crystal itself. This will be the primary boots that I use at the Doom boss up until I get my Avernic treads, which is why this is very much desirable. I guess in theory the primordials would be good for Cerberus itself, but in any case I am satisfied. I'm a happy lad. This feels like the perfect episode. There's not a huge time investment, but I feel like we're going to make a lot of progress quite quickly. That is a sexy looking pair of boots right there. Time to get 2 more of them. Although, now that this has occurred, I am now worried about duplicates, but hopefully it doesn't come to that. We shall see. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, that is so annoying. I think it's worth burning another teleport to get the seeds back. I used 2 TPs for that 1 kill. I need to go to bed. After that error, this is the only gameplay that I'm going to allow myself to do. It's simply unacceptable to waste that many teleports. I was kind of surprised Cerberus was even there when I returned, but we're going to chill here for a couple of hours and see how many demon tears I can get. I have heard this is like massively AFK, which is definitely my speed. I think now that we are here, the only reason my character would stop woodcutting is if my entire inventory was filled up with logs, so I don't think these roots deplete, I don't think they move around, so I'm good. I'm going to be chilling here for a couple of hours, and I shall report back on how it all goes. I need to get maybe 12,000 of these demon tears, maybe more, to imbue my boots into my mega boots. It's all very confusing. Regardless, the more the merrier. And I think I'm going to get quite a few somehow. What's going on, guys? Mr. Sleep 7 to 9 hours a night here, as recommended by my doctor from old school RuneScape. Today, we have done over 10 hours of cutting infected roots. Now, I haven't really thought this bit through very much, but this is the amount of demon tears we got, so that's a video in a nutshell. But in any case, I am done AFKing. It is time to get back into Cerberus's lair. If you've never cut these before and you're wondering what sort of AFK time you can expect, I timed 1 inventory's worth. This could vary, but the 1 inventory that I did actually time took 14 minutes. So if you thought the gemstone crab was a good resource for AFKing, this is even better. And with 12,000 tears that I need to get, we got well and truly over halfway there. It's not too bad because when I do the actual boss itself, it should help me out quite a lot as well. Not to mention, I'll probably return here from time to time. But like I said before, it's time to get back into the Cerberus's lair. And who knows, maybe it'll be less than 10 hours of gameplay before I've wrapped up and getting my crystals. That would be the goal, of course, but RuneScape is one of those games where you can go extremely dry or extremely lucky, and you never know what's going to happen until after the fact. So let's get back in there. Oh, there's the second crystal. Puppy dog is... I just need to bank. I need to pick this up and bank. I'm too flabbergasted. I'm not at the point with this boss where I feel comfortable just commentating casually after picking up a major item. But that means all that is left to go now is the primordial boots. So we are 2 out of 3 with no duplicates. We shall take that. I've only got 50 kills left in this Slayer task. So fingers crossed, hopefully we can get it done in 2 tasks or less. But in the meantime, very happy with that indeed. It's taken me 350 kills, but I've finally recognized that I don't need to switch praise to range. I thought you could react to the projectiles in the air, but that's not the case. The smartest thing to do is actually camp mage the whole time, which realistically means as soon as that initial sequence comes out where you prey flick melee at the start, once that happens, I can AFK until the ghosts come out, and sometimes they don't even appear. So this boss is even easier than I thought it was. But I've only got 2 kills left to go in this task, so I'm thinking it's unlikely that we finish at this task, but I don't know. All in all, pretty happy with how things have gone. I also can dodge the Guru phase. Very good. Oh my god, the teleports. That would have been nuts. But yeah, 1 kill left to go this task. Unfortunately, I just got back here, so it's a bit of a waste of TPs. But with saying that, I did just get a teleport drop, so in the end, we did profit. The task is complete. I need to go do some tutorial skipping to get myself another one. If this was last video, this task could actually be very desirable, but since we already have our ranger boots, I'll have to skip this one for now. That is more like it. I'm not going to bother getting a back-to-back because I do have a stored Araxite task here, so this would be a nice little thing to polish off now. It's wishful thinking, but I'm trying to manifest. It's very possible that this task and future tasks also go dry, and I'm stuck at the Cerberus's lair then way longer than I anticipated, but hopefully, I'll can just do this singular task and I can get my singular crystal and I can move on with my singular day. I thought it was over for a second there. I kind of forgot these even dropped smoldering stones. Makes sense though, right? The big hell puppy, of course it's going to drop that. It is one more unique from the collection that I will no longer need to chase down, but that is of course not exactly what I'm going for. Still need myself a crystal. But the kills are coming in smooth. Still enjoying the boss. And the longer we're here, the more wines of Zami that I'm gathering, I suppose. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't see a collection log, so I didn't really care. Anytime I see that text on the ground in that color, I assume it's a teleport. This time around, it is a duplicate eternal crystal. I'll take it for now, but I don't want this to be the start of a trend. Well, 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 look what the dog dragged in. Pegasian crystal number 2. I don't like where this is going. To be fair, I guess we're still 70 kills shy of the drop rate, so it's still possible that this is still a happy ending. Just duplicates, they scare me. It reminds me of crystal armor seeds from the corrupted gauntlet. Bad, bad memories. My bank is once again completely filled. I think the best way I can fill some slots up now is by using all of my teleports on this scrollbook. I don't know if there is a way to do this all at once. There probably is, but I'm so unfamiliar with this content that I don't interact with it. And I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way. Who knows, maybe that is the only way. Now that all those TPs are stored, I've got an extra 9 bank slots that should last me at least another 4 hours of gameplay, but I wanted to quickly demo just how quickly it is to re-gear. Simply just having a good setup saves you so much time. Eating the angler is just a nice little thing, makes room for the TP, and off you go. I find it very unlikely that by the time I re-gear, that anybody could take my spot, so I generally don't even need to check in with old mate to see if somebody's stolen the position, but I don't know, the uptime on this boss is like 98%. It's very, very good, and the kill count per hour is quite consistent, and because I'm getting upwards of 10 or more per trip, I'm also consistently going to outlast it. So for as long as I'm doing Cerberus, I will have unlimited teleports, and for as long as I'm doing Cerberus, my uptime will be pretty damn high. So all in all, kills are quick, the uptime's insane, and this is a streamlined grind. This is probably my favorite grind I've done. Arguably, I've been kind of spooned, but it's not over yet. I still have the opportunity to be fisted. Historically, I've not had the best interactions with red dogs in this video game. But anyway, I'm missing out on mechanics because I'm talking too much. Time to go and get myself a pair of red boots. This should be the final kill of the task. I don't screw up the mechanics. One more dead Cerberus. The Emberlight and the Burning Claws just cut through this thing so quickly. I don't know what this boss was like to kill back in the ye olden days, but my goodness, I feel like I just never hit a 0. It's crazy, just hitting 60s constantly. But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go and get myself another task. Before we do that, however, I think I have myself a pair of boots that I need to make. I'm glad I got these infinity boots at the start of the video. It's kind of satisfying just to go to the bank and just immediately follow up and create the upgraded boots. But there is the eternal boots. Checking in with the Zammy wine stash. Where are they? We've got 375. This is so good. Only thing I'm sad about is that I have to go and get another task. I just want to keep sending Cerberus back to back to back. I wonder if the Eternal Boots will give me good luck and allow me to get the back-to-back proc with the Max Cape. Never mind, it was worth a shot. This has to be a bug. I'm doing some tutorial skipping to try and get another Hellhound task. I talked to AR, like I just logged in for the day. Maybe I'm drunk, but I've got Black Dragons to do. We're gonna go get a new task from AR. Everything's fine, yes please. And then she tells me that I'm still hunting Black Dragons. And that's the end of the conversation. I've called her 5 times. I'm just wasting runes at this point. I'm calling, but she's not listening. The lights are on, but nobody's home. Aya, whatever your name is, what the hell is this? I've definitely skipped Black Dragons before. There's no way that this is not a bug. Although I'm going to go visit Aya in person and see if she's just... Okay, I've teleported to the Crafting Guild from the Crafting Guild. Maybe I'm just the one. I'm the problem. Maybe it's a communication issue over the phone. Let us see if this goes any different. I'm going to talk to her, have the regular conversation chain. Okay, and she's still dumb as a doorknob when I'm talking to her in person. Luckily, I do have an Araxite task that I can switch over. Maybe I can do that here, actually. I might just have to do the Black Dragons, because my Slayer Master is not very smart right now, and it's struggling to function. Very, very weird. Hopefully they fix that soon, because I really rely upon AS skipping at the moment, and to have it bugged is very unfortunate. I guess I was kind of lucky that I had to do Araxites as well as Black Dragons. Black Dragons, at the very least, it's the best of the worst, I suppose, but now I'm stuck with a double Anku, and Aya is still broken. So my choice is not do Slayer or do a bunch of Anko killing. This is whack. This next task will kind of determine what I do next. Do I keep playing the game tonight, or do I log out? I will see you tomorrow. No one wants to do Bloodvelds. Jagex is very lucky that I'm actually addicted to this game and I can't actually log out. I went and did some Mazcar Slayer instead, and now I've got to capitalize on a Konar task. To do this, I'm going to try out the Grotesque Guardians. I've never killed these guys before, but I have heard that with the Noxious Hellbirds, you can get some pretty effective kills with a pretty ineffective brain, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. I think in the end, I'm going to lose Slayer task points because I ended up skipping a few times just to make this occur, but with Turiel skipping dead at the moment, I'm just trying to find ways to make progress that is kind of viable. So I'm going to try out the Grotesque Guardians and see if maybe I can get some combat achievements. That's realistically something that I actually need to go for, and this is a good excuse to make it happen. This is yet again another boss I've never tried on any account. So first activation of a brittle key. I think I need to watch a video on how to get this done, but honestly, I think it'll be a kind of a Cerberus 2.0 kind of situation. I'll do so much damage that it's likely I won't need to realistically learn the mechanics, but I'm going to do a couple kills without looking into anything and see if I can just do it by myself. I was wondering why this thing wasn't dying. I need a hammer just like regular gargoyles. Man, I'm so sad that the game is bugged right now. I shouldn't be doing Grotesque Guardians right now. This is silly. Why does the game need to be bugged right now? Good God. I guess it makes sense, right? They're a bloody gargoyle. I guess I got some intel, right? How to do the fight a little bit, but at the same time, I've got a lot to learn. One thing I did learn during that fight is when those purple things go on the floor, you need to click on them, otherwise the boss will heal. That is a no-no. And you can best bet, as soon as Turiel skipping comes back online, I think I'm just going to immediately skip this task because I'm just not in the mood for this shit. Yes, dawn is dead. Dusk to follow. Holy shit, he gets really big. Holy 40s? Why don't I just take a 43 melee protection? Maybe I can Crystal Halberd spec to speed this up a little bit. Smack. See ya, dickhead. I don't know if that little projectile throwing part is a protect from magic angle, but there is my first ever kill. Oh, what is... Wait, sorry. There is my first ever Grotesque Guardian KC, and I just got how many combat achievements? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll take it. That's ridiculous. Maybe it was a good thing that the skipping thing got bugged. I mean, utter disbelief. I don't think mechanically I did anything impressive at all. But the reason why this is so massive is that I need to get myself the elite combat tasks completed, and this is a massive chunk just done immediately. So for context, I just got half of the combat achievements, 7 of them, in one kill, with no knowledge or anything at all. I cannot get over that. That's ridiculous. I'll need to get some KC ones, that makes sense. 25, 50, less than 2 minutes. I was so close to getting an 8th as well. I think that was like 2 minutes and 1 second. That is ridiculous. And there is one of the speed tasks. I think I'm about 6 seconds away from getting the Grandmaster one for there. Maybe if I actually brought a Book of the Dead instead of just the runes, that could have helped out a little bit, but I don't think it's going to take too long before I can actually get the 1 minute 40 accomplishment. This has turned out to be pretty productive. I would not have expected that. I don't normally feel this way about content in this game, but I think I'm legitimately enjoying it more, not knowing anything about it as well. I like to come fully prepared, overly prepared at times. This is a very different change of pace. I'm not even sure if the Hellbird itself is doing anything special. I do have a tile pack here, so this tells me that I kind of want to dance around this part, but yeah, for the most part, just figuring out some basic mechanics, getting a couple kills every single run. It's not a bad time. It's pretty good vibes up in here. I'm just re-gearing really quick, and 2 adjustments I'm going to make in order to attempt to get the 140 barrier. Going to switch out for a Berserker ring when I ever do my Crystal Halberd specs. I've also got my Book of the Dead, so these Guardians, they're done for. Their time is over. Time to get the 140 task. 140 is now my new PB. That is not the achievement though. It needs to be less than 140, so we are exactly where we need to be with the addition of 1 to 2 ticks. Very, very close though. That is so strange. That did not feel clean at all, yet that is the one that tips me over. Well, 131 on a kill that didn't feel great. I do not care. I've got myself my achievement. I'm now officially a Grotesque Guardian speed chaser. What a day to be alive. So something interesting I just learnt. I looked up a guide to see what other people are using, and turns out the reason why the Noxious Halberd is good is not because it deals a lot of damage, although it does, I had no clue, but Dawn used to be killed only with range, and now with the Hellbird changes, both the Crystal and the Noxious Hellbirds can take that dickhead out of the sky, which is insane. So it looks like this boss is much easier than it used to be, but there is my 25th kill, and along with it, a combat achievement. I'm going to head off for the night, probably skip this task in the morning, but we definitely will be back, because this does feel like a very important detour to make. But I think now that I'm out of supplies for this trip, I'm going to head off for now, and hopefully when I wake up in the morning, Jagex has fixed the game and I get tutorial skip again. Gotta keep my eye on the prize. Cerberus, you're not going to get away with it that easy. You still got to give me your boots, and I still got to learn how to teleport to where I actually need to go. Don't ask me why I'm fire making, I don't even know to be honest, but all I do know is that the tutorial skipping has been fixed, and Jagex have interestingly fed the fairy ring steroids or something. I do want to gear up for Cerberus, but I have to show you this. If you haven't played the game in a couple of weeks, or a couple of years, I couldn't help but laugh when I saw this. Okay, I'm fully geared up, but if we go to the fairy ring, I don't have a bloody staff. I guess it doesn't matter, I don't actually need to go anywhere. And yes, I do need to get those elites done, but if you are to use a fairy ring, I do need the damn staff. So if you open up the fairy ring interface and you click on these letters around these little things, you're used to it, you click on it and it slowly kind of rotates. I don't know what they've been feeding these mushrooms, but these guys are correct right now. So a nice little quality of life update, but my god, once you're used to like the previous tempo, seeing this just looks ridiculous, but oh well. Cuts down a couple game ticks to getting to where you need to go if you are just manually clicking on, say, like DJR or whatever it is. It's just ridiculous. Nice little quality of life, but one thing I didn't actually mention is that because tutorial skipping is available again, I've done a bunch of it and I've got 2 Hellhound tasks to do. So between these 2 here, we've got 353 kills that we can do, and hopefully that can net us a Prim Crystal. I know that they're called primordial boots. I'm not 100% sure if it's a primordial crystal, although that would make sense. So that is what I'm going to get into now. Wish me luck, and hopefully we can wrap up this grind right here and now. I'm almost disappointed. I was having fun, but I won't act ungrateful. There is the primordial crystal. I just settled in for another trip, and I've got my red gem on the ground. 609 kill count is all it took. I guess that's pretty lucky. I had a look at a post where someone did 2 million simulations, and the average KC to complete all 3 was 940. So I believe it is pretty safe to say that we got a little bit spooned, and to be honest, it's a nice change of pace. But after this trip here, I can't help but end of this trip. I've just brought all these supplies. After this trip, I'll go and make my primordial boots, and we can get a melee boot upgrade for the first time in ages. Okay, supplies have run out. It is time to say goodbye to the puppy dog. I was trying to be a little bit sentimental, but the bastard just kept throwing balls at me, and I have 14 health points left. I wonder what happens when I go to block this now, because obviously I have no real reason to return to Cerberus, and Hellhounds aren't exactly a fantastic task. So naturally, I'm going to have to block him once again, and I'm curious, because I do have that task stored, what happens to this stored task? If I block them now, what ends up happening? So let's put the Hell Puppies back on the block list. What happens to both of these? If I unstore this task, I still retain it. Interesting. I thought it would kind of wipe it, but I guess I'll have to tutorial skip that as well. Okay, so my gear and inventory looks slightly different to the beginning of the video, but we'll end it in exactly the same spot. This time around, all the upgrades have come to fruition except for one. Once we add this primordial crystal to the dragon boots, we will have our final unlock for the video. But if we infuse that now, we will now get ourselves a pair of primordial boots. And the collection is complete. The only thing left to do now is to put them into another pair of boots. And that is exactly what I'm going to attempt to do next video. But until then, thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you then.